hollow on springs. Must have some sort of built-in motor or something. I tell you, it's a whole different sex.
What are you afraid of? Nobody's asking you to have a baby. This is just to get us out of town. Once we get the flower, we'll blow this whole setup.
Joe, this time I am not going to let you talk me into something that...
Extra, 7th floor in North Side Garage. Feared bloody aftermath. Extra.
You talked me into it. Let's go, Josephine.
That a girl, Geraldine.
Hello and welcome to the Bench Movie Club. My name is Ben.
And my name is Charlie.
And today we are reviewing the 1959 classic Some Like It Hot.
Yes, directed by Billy Wilder, who also directed The Apartment, Double Indemnity, Sunset Boulevard. He sadly died in 2002, aged 95. Stars Marilyn Monroe, who was in Bus Stop, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, and 7 Year Itch. She died in 1962, aged 36, of a drug overdose.
I reckon she was murdered, personally.
Why?
Oh, there's so much dodgy stuff surrounding her death. I reckon she was murdered. That's something to do with the Kennedys and the mafia. I think a lot of people think that. But you never know. You never know what the real thing is. You never told the truth, are you? So
No.
just lots of suspicion around her death.
And you got Tony Curtis, who was in Spartacus. He was in The Persuaders, and Not With My Wife You Don't. I only picked that because I like the title. He died in 2010, which is a lot later than I thought he died.
Yeah, no, he survived. He survived. I think all of them really, for quite a long time.
He was 85. He died.
Tony Curtis died, I think, in the 80s or 90s.
I've just said when Tony Curtis died.
No, Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon.
No, Jack Lemmon died in 2001.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Tony Curtis died of cardiopulmonary arrest. You got Jack Lemmon, who of course was in The Apartment, Glengarry Glen Ross, and China Syndrome. He died 2001, aged 76, of bladder cancer. But the one who outlived all of them, he was in this. He's the gangster. I think the big gangster, the bald one.
What, Spats?
No, not the big one. The one who has Spats killed.
At the
You have watched the film.
You see there at the very end of the film, who hosts the big sort of the supposed birthday party thing for him.
Yeah, played by Nehemiah Pussoff, who was in The Wrong Man, Twins, and Yentl. He died in 2022.
Oh, fucking hell.
He was 102 years old.
Bloody hell.
Congestive heart
He lived
failure.
a long time, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
No, the only other actor who I felt worth noting because of the tragedy of her life, really, is Beverly Wills. She was in Son of Flubber and The Ladies' Man. She was Marilyn Monroe's roommate in it.
Okay.
Yeah. She was the daughter of actress Joan Davis, who was best known for the 50s TV comedy I Married Joan.
Okay.
Who died of a heart attack in 1961, aged just 48.
Oh, bloody hell.
And then that was her mother who died of that.
Oh, okay.
Right, yeah. But Beverly Wills died 2 years later in 1963, aged 30.
Oh, so the year after Marilyn died.
But she died in a house fire, along with her grandmother, Nina Davis, and both her children, Guy, 7, and Larry, 4.
Oh, that's sad.
And the fire was started due to her smoking in bed.
Oh.
Terrible, isn't it? So don't smoke in bed, then.
Well, I don't smoke no more.
Hey, Dolores, will you see if there's any flowers outside? Yes, they're here. White orchids. I haven't had white orchids since I was a debutante. What's this?
What's what? Oh, that. Just a little going-away present.
Real diamonds.
Terrible, isn't it? Scary.
Yeah, so this film is a classic. It's noted as one of the funniest films of all time. What are you looking like that for?
I'm just looking at you while you're talking.
Oh, okay.
It's the glasses.
Yeah, it's noted as one of the funniest films of all time, and it's just classic. It's about these two musicians who witness a gangland shooting
Which is very much like the Valentine's Day Massacre.
Yes, it is. And so they have to escape, and the only way they can escape is by imitating two female musicians who are going off to Miami for 3 weeks to play in this hotel. And and it all starts there. It's a really funny film, and I suppose for its time as well, pushing the boundaries because of the cross-dressing element of it. Because of 1959. Yeah, I think so. Because I know it was...
Well, I don't think in this country so much, because we always had, like, the dames and pantos and stuff. But maybe in America it's a bigger deal.
Well, the first sneak peek review had a bad reaction, with many audience walkouts. Studio personnel and agents told Billy Wilder, like, what scenes he should cut and reshoot. Billy Wilder responded, "I'm not cutting anything. It's a very funny film, and I believe in it just as it is. Don't panic over previews. It's a hell of a movie." He held the next preview in the Westwood selection in Los Angeles, and the audience stood up at the end and applauded. Which I don't know why they do that a lot of the time, because...
previews?
Yeah, but a lot of previews where I've heard in the past, you know, like things like American Wealth in London and other, like Breakfast Club, other films.
Attraction.
Yeah, where they've had previews and people have, like, complained about it, but then how do they know? It's a couple of cinemas. They should do maybe alternative versions. They should never get rid of the original, because I think there's always going to be a passion for it, especially if someone loves the film. So, but luckily with this film it didn't happen.
Well, this is the thing. Sometimes you do something and you think, I know in my heart this is good. I believe this is good. And then you show it to people and they're like, that's a load of crap. And you think, well, maybe I was wrong. So they have previews for that very purpose, to show and gauge people's reaction.
Yeah, but a lot of the time with these previews, they cut the film to pieces, and the film is then these scenes are lost forever.
Yeah.
So I find that quite sad. So, what did you think of the film then?
Right.
Oh, you didn't like it?
No.
Was this because of Bullworth last week?
Maybe. No, I liked it. I did like it.
You did like it,
yeah? I thought it was enjoyable.
Because you'd never seen it before?
No. I'd seen The Apartment and I'd seen Witness for the Prosecution, both Billy Wilder films. So
And you know Jack Lemmon as well, obviously, from The Apartment.
You know what? It's actually the first time I've actually seen a Marilyn Monroe movie.
Oh, was it really? Oh, okay.
I knew of her. I know you liked her films. I
liked it from a very young age, from about 14, I think, and I don't know why. I don't know what film it was, but I suddenly was really fascinated with her and her tragic life, and I just suddenly got really into her, which is really unusual for a 14-year-old boy. But I think there's something about her that, like, men and women alike sort of warm towards her.
Yeah.
Where, because she's a beautiful woman as well, women don't usually warm towards her, but I think a lot of people felt sorry for her because she had a tragic life and she was used and abused by men all her life, and she was just, like, lost, really, and she had, like, miscarriages and she was treated bad by men, and, you know, she was, yeah.
But all that stuff, most people aren't necessarily aware of that. Most people just know her as the icon.
Yeah.
So it's like, we were saying about this the other day, about there's certain people who transcend whatever they do, that they're iconic. You might never have seen a Charlie Chaplin film, but you know who Charlie Chaplin is.
Exactly.
You know who Elvis is.
Yeah. You know who Marilyn is. Yeah.
There are loads of people who are like that, but they're so distinctive. And even if you don't like their stuff, you still know who they are. You know who James Dean is.
Yeah.
Now, I've watched...
He's only done about 3 films, I think, James Dean.
And have you watched them?
I think I did. I think I did watch them because there was only 3 of them.
I watched Rebel Without Cause the other day with Lily.
Okay.
I thought he was okay.
Yeah.
Didn't
it's because he was very good looking. I think it's because of the tragic... I can't really remember the film.
Well, the 3 main people, so it's James Dean... I can't remember the other 2. There was the one who died on the boat, the girl who drowned.
Natalie Wood.
Yeah. And there was another young...
And that was suspicious, wasn't it? Suspicious death.
Yeah, because she's scared of the water. She always was worried about drowning.
Was she murdered or something? I don't know. There's always a big thing hanging over her.
James Dean, of course, died in a car crash. And the other boy, the other main actor in it, he was stabbed in his 30s. He was killed. Really? He was mugged and murdered.
And that's unusual because actually the very last film of Marilyn Monroe's, they all died not long after. It's called The Misfits. It was Marilyn Monroe died, obviously, with this big question mark surrounding her death. There was Clark Gable. He died not long after. And also, I think, was it Montgomery Clift?
Oh.
I think that all 3 of them died. I think it was their last movie.
Right.
So, very shortly after that film. So that's very similar to that. But, I've always been fascinated with Marilyn Monroe. And I've always, even people like Madonna, has idolised her, like making the Material Girl video from copying
Trying
from
to make her look like her.
And Blondie's always loved it. So a lot of people have always, like big, strong women have all warmed towards Marilyn. So I mean, there's something about her that I think that there is, you know, there's like you want to protect her kind of thing.
Here, you want some? It's bourbon.
I'll take a rain check.
I don't want you to think I'm a drinker. I can stop anytime I want to, only I don't want to, especially when I'm blue.
We understand.
All the girls drink. It's just that I'm the one that gets caught. Story of my life. I always get the fuzzy end of the lollipop. Am I seeing straight?
I'll say.
We'll see you around, girls.
Bye, Sugar. We have been playing with the wrong band.
Sound, Daphne.
I thought, how are they gonna do it convincingly that these two guys have to dress up as women?
Yeah.
To get in this, surely I don't know the surroundings for it. So having like them witness the murder, and also being poor anyway, so it kills two birds with one stone, and also living in, was it Chicago, without their jackets, so they're freezing cold. So I could believe the circumstances in which they were put in that situation.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing I was a bit sceptical of. Obviously, there's loads of things. It's, you know, you can't take the film too seriously. There's loads of things in it. You think, well, obviously they wouldn't do that, and obviously that wouldn't happen. You know, with like the gangster, and obviously people would go, well, that's clearly a man, isn't it? You know, they're not the most convincing of women, but they're convincing enough that you can sort of think, okay, I can get on board with it.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why it was shot in black and white as well, because it makes it more believable.
Yeah.
Also, it did take about a year for the script writers to come up with the idea of what would make them have to dress as women, because not being poor, just being poor, wasn't a big enough reason for them to do that. So they had to sort of think, right, so that rather than make it in now times, which it was going to basically be round about the sort of time it was in the 50s, they thought, right, we'll have to go back a bit in time, and we'll do it like the prohibition sort of time. So they can witness something that they have to. So they have to get out of the country, and that's the reason why they have to dress up as women. Which is, I think it's just funny. I love Jack Lemmon's performance in it.
Sugar! Sugar! Come on, dear, it's time to change for dinner.
Run along, Daphne. I'll catch up with you later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think he's just funny.
I thought all three of them were good.
Yeah.
The characters, like Tony Curtis' character, it's hard to sort of get on board with him, because you think he's already met Sugar, and he knows that she's like she's a bit ditzy, but she's a good-hearted person, and he's taken advantage of that by pretending that he's a millionaire. Just to get his end away with her. Yeah. And you think that's a bit, because he knows how to do it. It's just to convince, she's looking for love. She's looking for marriage. Yeah. And he's just sort of has this big facade. And he's the bloke that is the exact kind of bloke that she's always gone for, and she's told him that. She's always gone for saxophone players. You know, that sort of leave her after they've got what they wanted, kind of thing. And then he uses that to his advantage by sort of what she tells him when he's dressed up as Daphne, as Geraldine. Then he uses, is it Geraldine? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, what's
Josephine.
Josephine.
Because the other one was going to be Geraldine, but he changes his name
Daphne.
right at the last minute.
Yeah.
Daphne.
Yeah.
And he goes, why did you change that? He goes, I didn't like Geraldine.
Yeah.
But I think he's brilliant. And also, I love the old millionaire that falls in love with with Jack Lemmon. Yeah. He's funny. I think they're funny, their little relationship where it keeps going to the tango and things like that. It's just brilliant. I love it. But it is a lovely film. It's a nice... I love old black and white films anyway. Yeah. You know, they've got like this magic and this they've got this magic about them, you know? Yeah. Which I love. I absolutely love.
Well, Tony Curtis couldn't maintain the falsetto, so they used an audio modulation of his own and actor Paul Frees. So he couldn't maintain that. Sugar, darling.
Oh, what, the voice?
The falsetto voice. The woman, when he was dressed up in drag, he couldn't.
So what do you mean they had to... they
had a voice actor record because he couldn't maintain that pitch for that filming. So he's still done his lines, but they got another actor to dub over it but they mixed it with his voice. So it is his voice, but a higher falsetto.
Oh, right, okay. I was going to say, well, was he then revoiced then? I didn't realise.
No,
I thought
just
you
for
meant
that.
Oh, okay. Tony Curtis imitated Cary Grant for the voice.
Yes, darling.
Yes, of the voice that he does when he's the millionaire.
I could
Cary
tell
Grant
straight
actually
away.
didn't see it himself. He looks, he goes, he doesn't sound nothing like me.
No, he does. He sounds a bit like him.
Yeah.
He sounds like a bad impression of Cary Grant.
Yeah. But you can tell it's supposed to be Cary Grant.
But it's not, in a way, it's not supposed to be Cary Grant because the film actually came out. I mean, the film is set before Cary Grant was known.
Yeah.
So that's why Jack Lemmon goes, "Who talks like that?"
Yeah.
You know, he's like, nobody talks like... Because Cary Grant is famously, people have always said he's got a mid-Atlantic accent because he's born in Britain but worked in America, and his American accent always come across was he doing this.
Was he from, like, Blackpool or something? Or no, like Liverpool or somewhere like that. I think he was definitely from somewhere up north. Or definitely come from somewhere up north. Like quite along, was it Lancashire? So he had quite a strong accent when he moved over there. But then he had to go over to America and he had to change his accent, obviously, to fit in with them.
Well, he chose to.
He chose to. So I think he had to because he wasn't getting work when he was speaking in his normal voice.
You know,
when they first got into drag as well, Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon, they wanted to know if they was convincing, so they actually went into a female bathroom to see if any women would notice them, and they didn't. So they went, okay, we're realistic.
Well, it probably went out when there's folks dressed as women. And they said, well, how do you know? They might identify as women.
Not in them days.
That's the thing. You couldn't remake this film.
You can make it now.
No, not just...
And it's probably going to have uproar about it at some point. Someone's going to find something to complain about with it.
Well, I have. As I said, I don't agree with morally how he pursues Marilyn Monroe.
Yes. No, but I'm talking about with the cross-dressing reference.
Oh, right.
I reckon that will probably... But I don't think people will listen to it. I think it's not going to affect the film.
I think if they'd done it now, they'd have them, they're dressing, and they'd be really bad, and they go, well, obviously they are men, but they identify as women. We've got to let them in the band.
I don't think you'd make this film now.
No.
I don't think you would because it's. I just don't think you would now.
Marilyn Monroe was pregnant during the filming of this.
Yeah, I heard that. I know she miscarried.
Ah, what after?
No, she miscarried during the filming. Yeah,
that's terrible.
And I think that's the reason why a lot of her problems that she had on the film, because she was notorious for doing take after take after take and not coming out of her trailer for hours, and forgetting her lines. And I think a lot of it stems from there's other issues going on with her,
which is why Billy Wilder didn't go back to her for The Apartment.
Yeah, because he said when he done a rap party.
Yeah,
and he invited everyone apart from her, which he goes, and when she said, well, why can't I come? I'm the star. He goes, yeah, you've cost me about $500,000 in retakes and late shooting and stuff like that. So they had a bit of a fallout.
Cost him personally.
No, but that's what he said. Yeah, that's what he said. But then he's gone. Then he sort of was saying some nasty things about her. But then eventually he did forgive her because he said, look, it takes a real artist to show up to work and not know her lines and still give the performance that she gave. So he did sort of forgive her. And Jack Lemmon also loved her. He got on really well with her. Tony Curtis, originally, I used to slag her off all the time. I think because there was a lot of lines with the two of them together, and he would also say that it dampened his performance because after doing take after take after take, that the performance that he would end up doing wasn't as good as what his first
especially with the scenes, I guess, where he's doing that voice, because it's his natural voice.
Yeah. So I don't think... I mean, looking at the film, I think, you wouldn't know any of this. It's only this stuff you hear from behind the camera. So they've made a really good film. So it worked. Okay, it might have been a nightmare making it, but there was also there's reasons why things weren't going the way they was, and there was a lot of issues going on. But I think she done a fantastic job in this film. I think she was really believable, really likable, and I think they all was. They was all really good, really well cast.
Well, he was also quoted as saying, I'll do it in the voice again. He was also quoted as saying, kissing Marilyn was like kissing Hitler.
Yeah.
And you think that's a bit harsh.
Yeah.
And how does he know what kissing Hitler's like?
Yeah. No, he was quite horrible about her for a long time. I think then once he realised how then she died, and then there was then how she became this icon, and I think he sort of changed his tune over the years, and he sort of softened, but he did really famously sort of slag her off all the time because of the film. But then realising that's not the popular opinion to slag her off, I think that's why he changed his tune. Or he might have just sort of softened with age and sort of thought, look, the girl had issues, and maybe when he found out more about her life, then he sort of went, well, okay, well, I do sort of forgive her. But I know that Jack Lemmon always liked her. Jack Lemmon always got on with her, but it was Tony Curtis didn't.
Well, Anthony Perkins was initially offered the role of Joe, but Paramount thought he already had an ambiguous sexuality, and they weren't sure, but him being in drag would sort of take away from it.
It's Anthony Perkins. Is that Psycho? Okay.
Which, ironically, then he's, of course, dressed up in drag in... Oh, spoiler alert for Psycho. Because those people ain't seen Psycho. They don't know the twist in Psycho.
Oh, sure, but... Well,
there's a spoiler for Psycho.
It's been out for long enough now. I think you can't really say spoiler alert. It's been out 1960, was it?
Yeah, so he dresses up as his mother in that, and you're after this. Then.
Yeah. Marilyn Monroe wanted the film to be filmed in colour because all her films were, she had it in her contract that all the films was to be done in colour, but then they convinced her that it would look better because of the men's makeup, I think it was as well, because they had this greenish tint to them. Maybe where they've had to really overdo the makeup to make them look more feminine. So that's why it was shot in black and white, which I think it looks good in black and white.
Yeah.
You know, it works. Like certain films like Baby Jane, that looks fantastic in black and white, even though that could have been colour, because that was 2 years after, that was 3 years after this. They didn't really do many black and white films at that point, but it looked, the films they did do in black and white, they were meant to be in black and white because they look fantastic in black and white. Psycho,
it was about the same time as this, so Psycho was in black and white, and Hitchcock's previous films leading up to it were colour. Yeah. So when he decided to do black and white, the studio balked it a little bit and thought, well, people were paying to go cinema to see colour. If they want to watch black and white, they'll stay at home and watch their TV. Yeah. But these films, as I said, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, Some Like It Hot, 12 Angry Men.
Because of the extreme makeup in them two films I just mentioned, it's because I can see why they wouldn't be in colour. Yeah. And they would have looked a little bit... It would have come across different. I think it would have taken away from the story because you'd be looking at the makeup so much. Whereas in black and white, they look fantastic. I can't imagine even in films in colour. No, you know. How does this compare to Marilyn's other films? Oh, it's just Would you say this is her best film? It's one of her best. I like Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. I do really like that one. She looks stunning in that one. I think that was her breakthrough. A major breakthrough role, I think, because she's done a few other little films and she looks stunning in them, but she's absolutely flawless in that, and she's funny in that Gentlemen Prefer Blondes as well. Yeah. That's where the iconic Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend bit is from. But yeah, she's done a few good films. This one, Some Like It Hot, which is the one with the white dress, which is with her dress blowing up. She's done a few. Which one's the one with the dress blowing up? You just said Some Like It Hot. Oh, sorry, no, 7 Year Itch. 7 Year Itch is the one with the dress blowing up. There was one called Bus Stop as well, which I don't necessarily like her looking at, but she's really funny in it. She's really, and I think that's where you could see the comedy, because she was quite good at comedy, but I just didn't get a chance to do a lot of comedy, you know. But I've always loved her. I've always championed Marilyn Monroe. So, and this film has some famous songs. In particular, that I Want to Be Loved by You. Yeah, that's been used in adverts. Yeah, it's been used in adverts and other... It's been imitated like loads of other times. Also, Running Wild is a popular one with a little black dress. Does she play the ukulele? I doubt it. Probably not. No. I don't think they could play their instruments either. No. But I suppose it didn't really notice so much. I think unless you're a professional, that you look and go, that ain't real. But then... I don't think no one notices really, unless you are a professional player. And in which case, then you might go, no, they're not playing them instruments. Yeah, but you ain't, like, there's a bit where they both leave, they just exit the stage, so they're not playing anymore, Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon, and yet you can still hear bass and saxophone. So you think, well, you wouldn't hear the bass and saxophone because they'd be gone. But I don't think you notice really so much because you're too engrossed in the film. You know. I don't understand why Jack Lemmon's character so easily stepped aside so that Tony Curtis could pursue Sugar, because he liked her as well, didn't he? Yeah. And famously as well, in an interview with, I think it was Michael Parkinson, I think it was, or one of our presenters. Yeah, in an interview, Jack Lemmon said that the only scene that Marilyn done in one take was the bit when they get in bed together, when she gets in bed with him. That was the only scene in the whole film that she's done in one take. So, but yeah, they had good chemistry as well. You could see that they got on really well.
Yeah.
But that hotel, I think that was filmed in San Diego, because I think that hotel's still there.
Oh, really?
So I'd like to see that. I'd like to go there to see that hotel and just basically be on that beach and go, this is where Some Like It Hot was filmed. You know, it'd be quite nice. But yeah, it was banned in Kansas as cross-dressing was too disturbing. I mean,
is that still the case in
no,
Kansas?
I wouldn't have thought so. Not now. But this is 1959. So, I mean, things have changed a lot now.
Yeah, see, there's loads of things in America just seemed a little bit behind on the times anyway. Because I couldn't see it being banned, say, over here for cross-dressing necessarily. Again, going back to the tradition of pantomime, where you'd have the dames. Men dressing up in drag has always been
they've never had that. That's a British thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's always been that way. It's always been the men have been the women, the women have been the men. But in a caricature way, you know, over the top.
Yeah. Which is this kind of like, you know, again, they're not convincing as women, but they're convincing enough. They're
convincing enough for the story to be told.
As
you
two
can go, well, okay,
women.
Yeah, you can sort of, you go along with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I think, I love the film, I really do. And Frank Sinatra missed out on the opportunity of playing Jerry, Daphne, as he didn't show up to a lunch date with Billy Wilder.
I don't think he wouldn't have been as good anyway. He was a good actor, but he wouldn't have been as good for that part, for Jack Lemmon's part.
No.
And if Jack Lemmon hadn't played that, he wouldn't have then gone on to do The Apartment with Billy Wilder, probably.
Yeah. So things work out, isn't it? It's mad how things work out, you know?
Because this is Billy Wilder, I imagine he's worked on Some Like It Hot and thought, right, well, she was a nightmare to work with. Tony Curtis was probably a little bit prickly from time to time, whereas Jack Lemmon was probably having a good time the whole time and very cooperative. And he's thought, I'll give him the lead in my next film.
He's like the comedy. I think he's the comedy part of it, and definitely the comedy.
Yeah. I mean, Tony Curtis has funny moments in it, but you can tell he's like Jack Lemmon.
He's the straight guy.
Yeah.
And Jack Lemmon is like the relaxed, kind of chilled out, funny one.
Yeah.
Like he's brilliant characters. Brilliant characters in it.
I think Tony Curtis, you know, he looks a little bit like Ray Liotta.
Yeah, he has got a Ray Liotta look about him in that. And his wife was with him during the filming on the set, and she was pregnant with Jamie Lee Curtis at the time.
Really?
Yeah. There's pictures of them on the beach and all that, and she was pregnant with Jamie Lee Curtis.
He probably would have liked Marilyn if his wife wasn't there. That might have been it. He might have been thinking, oh no, I don't like it. You know.
Yeah, no, I think it was just where it was famously there was so many retakes and forgetting of lines that he just got frustrated with her. And, you know, and I think then it just makes things even worse when, you know, but then her performance is fantastic in it, you know, so it works in the end, so that's all that matters, you know, and they was paid to do the job and they got the job done, so it's done. Yeah, it's all worked out well. Jerry Lewis was offered the role of Jerry Daphne.
Yeah.
He declined because he didn't want to dress in drag.
Okay.
So, but it was 1959, so it was different back then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, also, in 2008, a Californian man was stunned when he found a little black dress that he had in his wardrobe. He had it...
Okay. What's this dress doing in my wardrobe?
Yeah, but he had it authenticated, and it turned out to be the black dress in Some Like It Hot that Marilyn Monroe wore.
It almost looks like she's topless.
I don't know which one it is. I don't know if it's the one...
Oh, no,
that dress. It might be the one that she's...
You know what I'm talking about,
she's
though?
being sewn in to. She has to be sewn into it. It might be that one. That's Cream, though. Isn't that Cream, that one?
Maybe.
Because it looks like Cream. You might be able to... I know it does look like you could probably see through it. It's very, very clingy. No, but... yeah, so it was estimated to be worth 250,000. So that's a nice little find. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably the little black one where she's playing the ukulele.
But how would he know that?
Well, they had it authenticated.
I reckon he's watching the film and thought, that looks like one of the dresses I wear at the weekend. Let me go have a look.
No,
Oh,
it's
it is.
probably he had it for some reason. It must have been. I don't know, but some things are found by people. It must have had a story behind it for him to have kept it and had it left in there. You know?
Well, this hat and these glasses are from the film.
Oh, are they?
20 quid it cost me.
Are they? The original. Yeah, well, they've aged well. And at the premiere of The Apartment, Marilyn Monroe saw Billy Wilder and she threw her arms around him and said that she loved him, and she whispered to him that she would have loved to have played the part that went to Shirley MacLaine in the film. Which she would have been quite good for that film.
Now the film's done.
No, but that's what she liked
Give
it.
me a
so.
guilt trip.
This is my friend Daphne. She's a Vassar girl.
I'm a what?
Or was it Bryn Mawr?
I heard a very sad story about a girl who went to Bryn Mawr. She squealed on her roommate, and they found her strangled with her own brassiere.
Yes, we have to be very careful whom we pick for a roommate.
Well, I think I better be going.
It was delightful meeting you both,
You will come and hear us play.
if it's at all possible.
Oh, do come. Don't disappoint us. It'll be such fun. And bring your yacht.
Come on, Josephine.
Because she also wanted to do the part in Vertigo, didn't she?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she would have been good for
Kim
that.
Novak.
She'd have been good for that.
Who
She'd
Kim
be very
Novak,
good.
we also said about, was the one who she woke up the morning after, at the same time of Vertigo coming out, woken up the morning after naked in her car after Tony Curtis gave her a drink.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you said, yeah.
Drink this, darling. You'll wake up better.
All right. Yeah, no, but I love the film. I'm glad you liked it. So is it what you thought it was going to be?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I did. I knew what to expect because I remember it being on, like you, your mum watching it when I was younger, and I never took an interest because I was thinking it's an old black and white film. I was only like a kid, but I had the general idea of it that these guys were dressed up in drag, and they were hiding from someone.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it for about 20 years, I think. I think the last time I saw it was with Mum when she had a flat in Spain. And I remember taking a little portable DVD player thing, which was all the new fashion at the time. It was just a little fold-down screen with a little DVD player to it. So we watched it on a tiny thing like that. 'Cause Mum's always liked this film. But also, I always forgot about the beginning part with the speakeasy and... Like, that looked so much fun, you know, like Prohibition, you know, like them speakeasy clubs, like Bugsy Malone.
But the stunts at the beginning looked quite dangerous because you know when it has the police car crashes, it's got all the guys hanging off, the policemen hanging off the car, and I'm looking, I'm thinking, I know they can't do CGI back then.
No.
And you see the guys hardly had any harnesses, and it skids and crashes, and you think that could have gone wrong quite badly,
Well,
horrifically.
in the olden days, it was all trial and error. I mean, the amount of things that we've heard from films where what they made people do before health and safety come along.
Or like even just shooting the glass out right in front of their faces, like the big mobsters' faces, you think, again, that could have easily blinded them,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. No, it's a good film, though. It's a very good film. On IMDb, it got 8.2 out of 10, which is good. Rotten Tomatoes, it got 95% by the critics and 94% by the audience. So, it's loved by a lot of people.
But not everyone.
Well, no. but I think the majority of people that
I could see that
love this film.
Yeah,
you know?
I could see why it would have detractors, just because of the things that we mentioned previously. Like some people would sort of take.
But you're
issue
going to
with
get
it.
that no matter what. People will find offence in anything. But I think on the whole, it's a fun film and it stands the test of time. It's like 1959. What are we in now? 2024.
It was
So it's
65 years.
65 years ago.
Yeah.
65 years ago, so it's a long time ago. The budget for this film, it was 2.9 million, and it made 49 million, which is a fantastic turnaround
good
for
return.
that time. So even though with all the extra costs that Marilyn Monroe might have cost it, it's definitely worth it because it's a classic, and it will remain a classic. It'll be long after us, and it'll be loved by people that ain't even been born yet, which I love about all these old black and white films.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, when people die, and that's why it must be so lovely when you've got a film that, you know, you live on. You know, these people live on, like all these Hollywood greats. I don't think there's any of them now that are alive. Because if you think, like, there's all the likes of, like, the Joan Crawfords, Betty Davis, Marilyn Monroe, like, sort of Clark Gable, Marlon Brando. They're all dead now. They're all sort of gone, you know? But,
Yeah.
but as I say, they live on.
Yeah.
They live on in these films, and it's so nice to be able to sort of recapture them, and for years to come, for generations to come. And yeah, it's mad. It's the first Marilyn Monroe film that you've done, that you've seen.
Well, she hadn't done that many though, really.
She did do quite a few films. I think about 20 odd films, I'd say.
Yeah, but I mean, in the scheme of things, it's there's loads of films I haven't seen.
No,
but
we will definitely do a review of Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. That is definitely one, because when I was watching this, I thought, well, I definitely want to do Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, because that's a really good one. That's I think it's probably my favourite one.
Okay.
Some Like It Hot, absolutely love Some Like It Hot, and I'm so glad we actually done it.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Okay, cool.
So, right, what's your film for next week then, Charles?
All right, so I was thinking for next week I'd like to do After Hours, directed by Martin Scorsese from the mid-80s.
Okay.
It's not an obvious Scorsese film, like the obvious one to go for would be Goodfellas, I guess, or some people, like a modern one would be Wolf of Wall Street. But what I like about After Hours, it's not like his other films. And it's a farcical take throughout the night of Griffin Dunn trying to get home. And it's got a fantastic cast.
Not a lot of people know about that film.
No, but you should check it out, and then you can hear us talk about it, because it is an interesting film.
Yeah, After Hours, yeah.
And, yeah.
Okay, well, that's us for next week then. And, well, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. And, as always, please follow us on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and if you can leave us a review so other people can find us.
Yeah.
So that'd be great. Thank you very much for listening, and we hope you enjoyed it. And we will see you next week. See you later. Bye-bye.
Cheerio.
I called Mama. She was so happy she cried. She wants you to have her wedding gown. It's white lace.
Yeah, Osgood, I can't get married in your mother's dress. She and I, we are not built the same way.
We can have it altered.
Yeah, no, you don't. Osgood, I'm gonna level with you. We can't get married at all.
Why not?
Well, in the first place, I'm not a natural blonde.
Doesn't matter.
I smoke. I smoke all the time.
I don't care.
Well, I have a terrible past. For 3 years now, I've been living with a saxophone player.
I forgive you.
I can never have children.
We can adopt some.
But you don't understand, Osgood. I'm a man.
Well, nobody's perfect.